back to Hustles Zetu. This is part 2 of our conversation on peer banking with Mr. Joseph Kanani. We are at the Vicmark Hotel, the cradle of comfort. This hotel is located next to the Odeon Cinema at Nakuru City. Welcome back, Bwana Joseph Kanani.
Asante.
So in our last conversation, you mentioned that this UFALME WETU is found online. Explain that.
We have an online platform, UFALMEWETU.com,
Okay.
which you can access via computer and via a phone.
Okay.
So what happens is, if you are, let's say, you have such an investment group or what you'd call a chama, and you'd like to manage it professionally to achieve the benefits that we have talked about, you can register your group there and you can manage it from that platform.
Okay.
But at the same time, we also have numerous groups as UFALME WETU that we manage all over the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that is quite a great thing. So how do you ensure financial inclusion and financial participation for all cadres of people, you know, from Mama Mboga to that maybe manager somewhere working in a bank?
To be able to answer that question, I need to give you a small background about the economic demography of Kenya.
Okay.
One, about 80% of the resources are controlled by less than 20% of the people.
About 80% of the resources are controlled by 20%?
Less than 20% of the people. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, true.
Research or data by KRA, people who pay taxes, reports that out of 10 people, only about 2 people earn 100,000 shillings and above. That is our Kenya. And with that meaning, it means that we have a very bad income distribution kind of in Kenya, where only a few people control majority of the economy.
Yeah, true.
So what we are left with is that if we have a pyramid, is that a very few people are at the top, while everyone else it's at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah, true.
So when we're dealing with financial inclusion, then we're dealing with the people at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah, true, true.
And we have come up with several concepts that try to define it and also to train people on how to. One of them is we try to distribute resources across the pyramid, not upwards.
Okay.
That simply means, you see, the few people who control all the resources own all the businesses. The major businesses, if we're talking about the oil companies, the chains of supermarkets, all those are owned by the top percent. But what happens to the people at the bottom of the pyramid? They take their money up to them. Okay. But if we were to distribute resources across this pyramid, it means that instead of me going to shop from people who own the resources at the top of the pyramid, then I should be supporting someone
people at the same level
in my level, yes, at the pyramid. I should be, and in that kind of concept, we're also trying to develop a platform whereby we can be our own marketers and buyers of our products.
Okay.
That is, if I am at this level of the pyramid, and it's difficult to find a market for my product because everyone goes to the supermarket, then this platform can connect you to the potential customers, potential buyers.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that is something you want to include in the UFALME WETU concept.
Yes. But also, as much as it's not part of the platform, it's also something that people should have in mind, that resources should be distributed across, not upwards.
Okay.
The second thing for financial inclusion is we try, when we borrow money for investment, we sensitize people that they should use that money for production tools. People mostly borrow for consumption.
Which is what is ailing our economy.
Exactly. Yes, that you want to borrow because, and consumption doesn't necessarily mean the food that we eat. It also means the things that we use, but do not have an economic value. Yeah, you can borrow to buy a car to be taking you to and from work.
Okay.
That item that you've bought doesn't have an economic value because it's not generating income for you.
Yeah, true.
So by sensitizing people to use whatever kind of money they have to invest in production tools, that also will help in financial inclusion.
Production tools could be like farming tools.
A production tool, it could be something like a cow is a production tool. If you borrow money, you invest in a cow, and that you milk that cow at the end of every day and sell that milk. So that cow is an asset that is generating income for you. Exactly. So even maybe in this kind of a set, we are in a hotel. So this is also a production tool for the hotel person, the hotel people, the people who are shooting. Whatever investment they have made, that is their production tool. So if we sensitize more people that instead of just consumption, look for production tools that you can use to generate income. And maybe, and the third way now is the peer banking itself. Bank on yourselves. Yes, it's good to take money to the bank. Yes, it's good to have the merry-go-rounds. But why not use the same concept that the bank uses and pull your money together, loan each other, and earn interests at the same time? So those are they are about 7 concepts, but those are the main ones that we use to describe about financial inclusion and participation.
Mr. Kanani, what's the demographic that will benefit most from this idea?
Basically, anyone that is in Kenya and it's not part of the top 1%. So, research also shows that the average income for a household in Kenya, it's about 30,000 shillings. That's not per person, that is for a household.
A household?
Yes.
Wow.
And
that's quite low.
Yes, and the people who earn maybe less than 100 shillings per day are also in the majority. So what we call middle class is actually struggling. They're poor people, but at least they're making it day by day. Yeah, so that kind of demography, and they also have one thing that is peculiar with the most Kenyans is they have business ideas, just that they do not have the support that is required to push it to the next level. So it doesn't matter the male or female, doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the religion. As long as you're in that bottom of the pyramid, then this is the platform for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you combining finance and IT?
As I had stated earlier, I have a background in finance and accounting. And the times now dictate that whatever we do, we include IT, because the generation that is coming up is actually the IT generation. And the reason why I also say that this is an upgrade from the normal chamas that we have is for long we've been made to think that chamas are for women in the village. The people who cannot be able to do anything for themselves.
Yes.
But now the also upcoming generation, we want something that they can be able to freely and easily use.
A modern concept.
Exactly, it's a modern concept.
For this generation.
Exactly. Yeah? Okay. So if it's on an online thing, it's something that they'll easily do. Doesn't matter their location, doesn't matter the time. They can be able to access it and transact.
Now, when you bring the issue of location, if let's say I have a group, let's say me and my 20 cousins, and we are spread all over the country, is that a group that can now be under UFALME WETU? What criteria? How do you define these groups? If there's IT, if it's enabled by IT, meaning I can be in Voi, another one is in Mombasa, and we are in this platform. Kindly demystify that.
Okay, your example is both correct and wrong at the same time.
Okay.
First, when we say peers, that is P-E-E-R,
peers, yes.
It's people that you have something in common with.
Okay.
Yeah. And since this is more an economic concept, that means it's people you have an economic idea with or some economic goals with. Yeah.
Okay.
So people maybe that you do business with,
Okay.
people that you work with, if it's at the place of work, people that you invest with. So the wrong part about your example is that these people don't necessarily have to be your relatives.
Okay.
Yeah, because you could be relatives, your friends, but you are not peers. You're
terms
not in terms of ideas. You're not at the same level.
Okay.
But when you have that kind of a group that people do business together, the nature of business today is such that your movement should not be restricted.
Right.
You could be in Mombasa and you're doing business in Garissa or Kisumu or wherever.
Yes.
So when these people come together, first as peers and also have guiding rules and regulations, then it doesn't matter where they are.
Okay.
The platform will enable them to meet, even virtually.
Yes.
The platform will keep records on how they save. Using the platform, someone can be able to apply for a loan. And the platform is able to also message the members of the groups to remind them details such as the next meeting date,
Yeah, true.
loan balances, how much they're supposed to pay. And the platform is also able to calculate the bonuses for them. That is the interest that they have earned as a group,
Okay.
how much each has earned as at a different a given
Different
date.
period of
Yes,
time. Okay.
yes.
So, Joseph, how can the government or other institutions assist this concept for uptake in the market?
Basically, we cannot only, the best way for an organization or the government to assist is probably to partner. Yeah, because we try to discourage the concept of saying serikali saidia, getting handouts and promises and all that. But when someone or if the government or an organization comes in as a partner, so it means that we also peers in terms of thinking. There's no one who is above the other in terms of support and all that. But that kind of support will help us to maybe get wider recognition. That is, a wider group of people can be able to access the platform. Also, institutions that do the same kind of thing can also partner with and use the platform to manage their groups, etc. And the government, if it needs maybe things like training, because you see the current government campaign strategy was on hustlers.
Yes.
Yeah, and most of these hustlers are actually at the very bottom of the pyramid that you're talking about. And to maybe sensitize the same issues that they were talking about, they can use this kind of platform to help them help themselves. Yeah.
Now, your parting shot is going to be you telling the viewer how they can get you if they have further inquiries, and where you're located at in Nakuru City, because that's where you're at, and how they can get you. Kindly give us that as your parting shot.
Okay, thank you. So the easiest way is to access our platform online. That is www.ufalmewetu.com. Also, you can reach us using the number that is being provided here. And if you're in Nakuru town, you can visit us at Jurem House near Family Bank.
Thank you very much, Joseph Kanani. This has been an awesome conversation. I hope you have picked something on peer banking and how we can do these chamas in a modern way according to the generation that we are living in. We want to thank you very much. We have been coming to you from the Vicmark Hotel, the cradle of comfort. We offer conference facilities. We have a great restaurant, accommodation, and a rooftop lounge. We are located along Kenyatta Lane next to Odeon Cinema. This is Hustles Zetu. My name is Eunice Njeri.